Hey, everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, September 7th, 2025. So we have spent decades coming up with elaborate takeover plans, and now we have an AI plot bot that can just do it for us. I think that's pretty impressive. That feels like progress to me. So Victor thinks that Kane has developed some kind of AI that can be dropped right onto a company's network and take it over from the inside, invisibly. If only we would have had this technology 30 years ago. I feel like we need to give it a dramatic name or something. If it can go in there and do like all this magic takeover plot invisibly, I vote that we call it Ghost. It's gotta have a clever name, and I think Ghost works. I'm calling it Ghost from now on. It's like my little pet AI plot bot, Ghost. Wow. I mean, it sounds like some very powerful technology. Definitely illegal. Definitely like big time federal crime to do that. And Adam is into it. Yes. Sweet. I have to say, this was my favorite part of the week. The fact that Adam is into it. That's the Adam that I want. That was quite a pleasant surprise. I want Adam right on the edge between right and wrong, finding that middle ground, arguing for wrong, even if he knows it's not right. I love that. So Victor called the family together this week to let everyone know that he gave Kane an ultimatum. Give me the ghost, or I will tell everyone about Colin's final grift. I'll just splash it all over the pages of Newman Media. Oh, you think your kids are mad at you now? Wait, just wait. And Kane said, Victor, I believe I will have to turn down your blackmail request. Yeah, that's not how this works. Kane. Hold on, Kane. You're basically new in town. It's been a long time. It's been 6 years or whatever. Basically new. So let me bring you up to speed. See, this is how it goes. Victor says, do it. And then you do it. End of transaction. Okay? How dare you buck the system? Oh man, I think this is going to be really potentially fun, and it's just, this feels like a really good plot turnaround. Like Y&R thought, you know what, we're gonna go in a different direction, and I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I like the idea that everyone is going to be vying to get this technology. Kane has it. Victor wants it. Victoria thinks it's immoral. Nick thinks it's illegal. And Adam is like, let's use it now before somebody else does. Yes. Yes. The fact that Adam then suggested that Nick go undercover with Phyllis to find out if Kane has already used it. I love that. I mean, maybe Kane's already unleashed it. It's a ghost. How would we know? It's invisible. That's great. So Nick is going to have to try to get information out of Phyllis. And now Michael is probably going to go undercover, pretending to be Kane's attorney, but secretly working for Victor as a way to get back into his good graces for whatever reason. Oh, but for the reason of drama. For the reason of drama. I think it's great. My question, though, is, was Kane planning to launch this highly illegal AI bomb all along? I mean, was that his plan all along? Was he telling everyone that his business was legit, all the while he's harnessing a weapon of mass destruction? I mean, that explains why he can't tell Lily what he was up to. Victor and Nikki never get old. I mean, well, you know what I mean. The romance never gets old. Oh, I thought this was a very clever idea, having Nikki recreate her most romantic moments in reverse. It was like a reverse retro romance. That's so clever. I love that. Many years ago, Victor gave her a pearl ring inside of an oyster, so she gave him a ring inside of an oyster. Many years ago, Victor gave her a big, beautiful white fur coat. I will never forget it. It was so gorgeous. Love that moment. But so she gave him a black leather jacket. Another one. Another one. I mean, don't you think that Victor probably has at least one full closet dedicated to his black leather jackets? Does he really need another one? Or I don't know. Can a man actually have too many black leather jackets? Maybe not when you're Victor Newman. Another one? Not gonna lie, it looked just like all the other ones we see him in. I could not tell a difference. I mean, they literally could have boxed one up from the wardrobe closet and had him open it, and they all look the same. But it was very romantic when she suggested a dance, as he, I'm sure, has suggested many dances over the years. And then we got this beautiful montage of them dancing through the years. Oh, that was beautiful. That was a wonderful moment. It was a close one, though, because she got him all riled up thinking about one of her past negligees. Can you imagine? He remembers a specific negligee that she was wearing. Oh, Victor Newman looked like he wanted to just throw her over his shoulder if he could and carry her upstairs and just toss her right onto the bed right then. Kyle Abbott got down on one knee, popped open that olive green ring box, and said, "I promise you, the only woman I could love more than Claire Newman is Claire Abbott. Will you marry me?" And she said, "I gotta think about it." Oh, it was painful. Painful. She didn't say yes. And then once the proposal was out of the box, out of the ring box, there was no putting it back in. He begged her to just sit down, finish dinner. But even Mrs. Martinez's bolognese could not wash away the foul taste. She took one bite and said, "I gotta get out of here." One teeny tiny little nibble off the fork and said, "I gotta get out of here." Kyle wiped away a tear when she wasn't looking, and then followed her to the door, tried to give her a kiss, but she turned her cheek. Claire dodging that kiss, honestly, was worse than her dodging that proposal. I wanted to crawl out of my skin and die on Kyle's behalf. Oh, that moment was so well done, so well worth it. The actors totally nailed it. I mean, it was making me feel all the feels I didn't even want to feel. I felt sorry for Kyle, which I shouldn't. I felt, kind of proud of Claire for saying no and knowing what she didn't want. And, cringe just for the situation. There was so much emotionally there. That was so much fun this week. And of course, Claire ran right out to Crimson and ran right into Holden. And same time, Kyle ran out and literally ran into Audra. Perfect. Huh. What are the odds? Well, I have to say, first of all, it's very Kyle that he blames Audra for everything. It feels right. It's wrong, but it feels right for Kyle. He blames Audra for it all. This did not go as planned. It's Audra's fault. Even though he's the one who initiated this little scandal. And he did participate in the kiss, and he made all the decisions that led him here. But he told Jack that he wants to try to drive Audra out of town, because surely that will make Claire see how much he loves her. The look on his face when we last saw him was a dark Kyle. And I love dark Kyle because, he's still dumb. So he's going to get to be dumb and dark. And that, to me, is an irresistible combination. Another irresistible combination, misery and alcohol. Oh, they go so well together. Oh. Claire goes to Crimson for a coffee, runs into Holden and says, you know what? Screw coffee. I want to get drunk. I've never been. Wow. I'm never been drunk? Ever? Really? Well, you're in for a treat. Everyone who has ever been sloshed will tell you it is a real pleasure. Particularly on the back end. Enjoy your hangover, Claire. Wow, you're good. You're in for a treat. It really comes as a rite of passage, doesn't it? Claire's getting her rites of passage this week. The proposal and drunk for the first time, followed by the hangover, which I hope we get to see. It didn't get too wild. I was expecting more. It mostly just got catty. Claire tried pumping Holden for information on Audra, but he wasn't going to budge. Although in the previews for next week, it looks like Holden is getting ready to give Claire some information, saying that whatever he and Audra were involved in LA, it was illegal. There was some kind of illegal element. Gasp. And then, of course, Audra strolls into the bar, sees them together, and then, the two alley cats start, kind of clawing at each other. Audra was laying it on really thick about Kyle, and Claire was saying how lonely Audra must be without Nate. And it just, they were poking at each other's sore spots. But honestly, for as drunk as Claire was, her purse kept running away from her. She could not keep that thing in her hands. For as drunk as she was, I'm kind of surprised that she didn't go further. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't strike first. It was Audra who ended up pouncing on Claire, and Holden had to hold her back. He was holding her back. Her. Amanda walked in right after Audra spilled her guts to Nate. I did it fine. I did it. I accepted Victor's deal, but the rest of it wasn't a lie. Our relationship wasn't a lie, and I had my reasons. I was out of work for months. Really? Because your wardrobe suggests that you were doing just fine. I mean, it's not like Audra was standing in the bread line during that time. She could have gotten a wage job. I mean, let's just imagine that Audra had instead chosen to start wearing an apron at Crimson Lights. Honestly, now that I think about it, that would be pretty amazing. Audra having to take a job at Crimson Lights for a little while. Yeah, Thanksgiving is around the corner. Maybe she could at least start slinging some turkey dinners to some homeless people and get back into Nate's good graces. Yes! Audra needs to get the Thanksgiving feeding of the homeless turnaround arc this year. Oh, or they could just bring Amy back. Either way, what's it to Amanda whether or not Audra and Nate are fighting? I mean, it's not like Amanda and Nate have had some super close connection. Okay, yeah, I know they dated, but just barely. The only guy that Amanda has ever really had a serious relationship with is Devon, but I don't know. Maybe that's about to change. Are Amanda and Nate gonna hook up? That doesn't feel right though, because it really seems like the show is leading us to Victoria and Nate. Victoria and Nate seem like the couple to watch, because after things blew up with Audra, Nate went to the park all hunky and heartbroken, sitting on the bench thinking about his life choices. And Victoria comes around the corner, and when you know it, the two of them start to find comfort in one another. And that's fine. It's fine. But I also feel like, well, we've kind of already been here, done that, and it didn't really work. I like Victoria and Nate as friends, but there's really no romantic chemistry between them. I don't know. It's predictable. It's boring. I need a shake-up. Plus, after losing Cole, I want to see Victoria have a relationship that is just purely frivolous and fun. And Victoria and Nate coming together over their shared grief is just no fun. This week, Claire got a marriage proposal and Sally got a shacking up proposal. Oh. It's a good thing that we have seen 2 weeks in a row of Billy Sally romance, because I really have been ready to write them off. I have wanted them off my screen as a couple. But I did enjoy Billy's faux Genoa City Chronicle newspaper bit this week. I thought that was fun. I have a deep appreciation for the Genoa City Chronicle. I mean, those were the days. One newspaper is all you needed. And you'd get to see the characters reading the newspaper, reading whatever the scandalous article of the day was on the newspaper. It was a great visual. And now everybody just stares at the screen and we see the, whatever article was published online. I mean, it just happened. I don't even think we saw an article about Kane. I don't even think we saw the headline or whatever. But there was a day where you had this great visual of being able to see that, whatever's going on a piece of paper, on the screen. It was tangible. I love the sound, the crinkling sound of the newspaper. And having that come back this week inside of Billy's kind of retro-styled apartment. I mean, that really made a difference in my enjoyment of the scene. Now, where we go from here, I am not quite so sure. I just don't think it's going to end well. Famous last words. Imagine that on a soap. I just don't think it's going to end well. But you have to admit, Sally moved in with Adam, and then 5 minutes later she had to move out because she found out that Adam had cheated on her with Chelsea. She literally just moved in. And I don't know. I think she's going to have conflict with Billy too. It seems that Sally is aware that she's going to have potential conflicts with Billy. They're going to be working together and living together, and she chose that. He said, "Do you want to move in?" And she said yes. So I don't know. I think it's going to be conflict for them. And it kind of looks like maybe the first conflict is going to be coming next week, because Billy walked into society in the previews with his bowler hat. I love it. Sally looking like a Hollywood starlet. Both of them walking in thinking that there's going to be a launch party going on. But surprise, it's just Kane sitting there. And I don't know why. Extra, extra. Read all about it next week. Calculated manipulation with the aim for complete destruction. That quote was such a mouthful that I knew that it was the quote of the week as soon as I heard it. How does anyone memorize that line? It's hard to comprehend that line. Calculated manipulation with the aim for complete destruction. Who had to say that? If you want to know, you should go to yrchat.com to find out. And now I have got to give a wonderful birthday shout out to Gary. September 13th. I think that's next Saturday. Oh, Gary, how do I count the ways that I love thee? I just couldn't possibly do it. So I'm just going to have to say a simple happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. You're the best. I hope all the Y&R chatters come out this week to say happy birthday to Gary. Oh, what a wonderful time of year it is. Russell says, Allie, you were just asking about Victor's office, and voila, we were treated to it today. Yes! It felt really good to be inside of Victor's office with Victor's portrait on the wall. Please, Y&R, do not get the idea that you are going to redecorate Victor's office. I do not want that to happen. Victor's office is very Victor. It is so dark in there. It's actually one of the things, that set is one of the reasons why I started watching Y&R. That set is so dark. Was so visually different from anything else that was on the screen at the time. Smack dab in the middle of the day, this dark, dark set. Adam's a vampire, Audra's a vampire. No, Victor is the original OG vampire. Who could even read their watch in there? Oh. Sharon W. says, welcome back, Michael. I didn't even guess that Victor was missing Michael too. Michael will be working for Victor while pretending to work for Kane. Brings back great memories when Michael and Victor were working together to keep Aunt Jordan in their care. This story is looking up. What a great group working with and against each other, as in Kane, Victor, and Michael. Yes! And Victoria says, what a pleasure to see Michael on my screen. He adds such a rich history to whatever story is unfolding. Victor's vendetta against Michael is extreme. I can't wait for the day Victor comes groveling back to Michael and Michael makes Victor wait for acceptance. Yeah, that's the only thing, is the power dynamic between them is so imbalanced. And I feel like it used to be more balanced. It used to seem like they were partners, they were equals. I really felt like Michael and Neil, I think, would qualify too, were the other men on the show that Victor respected and it felt like were his equals. But now it just seems like Michael's the one who's groveling. I wonder when Michael's just going to admit that he's in love with Victor. Why else? Why else? Russell says, I don't like Phyllis holding her relationship with Michael as a reward for him telling her his business. I don't know why it's a secret anyway. If he takes the job, which he hasn't yet, then they will be working together. Now that everyone knows what happened with Sharon, Phyllis should already have reached out to Michael to patch things up. Even though at the time she was hurt, she found out the truth, and you would think she would have wanted Michael back as a friend before this. Yeah, we really got dropped into the status of Michael and Phyllis this week, and it definitely is a head scratcher as to why she was still holding on to him representing Sharon when Phyllis and Sharon patched things up quite a long time ago, and in fact are closer than ever. So why does Michael have to bear the brunt of that fury? That is an interesting question. I also did appreciate Phyllis saying, I'm basically Kane's second in command. Oh, she was really laying it on thick. Michelle Stafford, dang, it's just everyone was listening to her. Everyone as a viewer knows what the actual score is between Phyllis and Kane, and to watch her stand there and say, oh yeah, I'm the only one he trusts, it's hilarious. It's pathetic. I can't get over it. Sharon W. says Phyllis needs to take the hint from Kane that he no longer wants her help. She needs to realize that even though she offered to take the fall for him and look deep into the computers of every company in town, he is now treating her with contempt. And even though she hates Victor, she should now wise up and go straight to Victor to offer her services. After all, everyone in town knows Phyllis is the computer genius, so Victor has to realize that she has already seen the information Kane is looking for. Dang, Sharon W., that is smart. I would not have thought of that. I've been very focused on, Phyllis's relationship with Kane. I don't know why she continues to do it, but I never thought of the fact that she could potentially turn right around and go to Kane's enemy with the information about what he's planning. So Kane's really, in a way, shooting himself in the foot by isolating her. He let her in. He gave her the inch, and boy, she has taken a mile. But you're right, she could turn around and really give him the business. Sue W. says Phyllis was once a defiant force to reckon with and respect, and rightfully so. Now, her shaky bravado is just pathetic. Take a breath, Red. The harder you tout yourself, the more pointless you appear. I'm rooting for your inner phoenix to rise again. Yeah, I mean, when Kane got up in her face and told her his personal life is off limits, I actually did say out loud to my screen, screw you, Kane. When he walked away, I was like, get out of Phyllis's face, Kane. I'm just Team Phyllis forever. I don't know why. I support Phyllis, even though I know she's wrong in doing it all to herself. And I'm thinking, when is she going to stop putting up with this? When is she going to stop putting herself through the ringer over this? Why is she doing this? And let's see here. Tony actually made a really interesting point here, saying Phyllis has been bold, seductive, creative, supportive, vindictive, and clever, but she has never been confident. The way she talks to people, bending over and jutting her neck out, it's like begging for acceptance. Hopefully, she will get to a point of success soon. Nicholas, help! Dang, Tony. That is a brilliant psychologicking of Phyllis. She's all of these things, but confident ain't one of them. Wow. I'm just going to let that settle. Let's switch the topic. Stephen says, in declining Victor's kind offer, Kane's demeanor was impressive. Facing the veiled threat to hand over the AI takeover software, Kane might have consulted his phone, deadpanning, "So, how does it feel being merely a millionaire again?" Can you imagine? Merely a millionaire. I asked you guys last week if you want to see Victor and Jack go to war again. I'm actually really surprised. 63% of you say no to Victor versus Jack 2025. Marianne V says, I have had enough of the vendetta that Victor has with Jack. It all comes from that night Nikki was with Jack and he almost died. Victor just won't give it up. Jack was just trying to help Nikki. Victor needs to move on from this, stop plotting against Jack. It would be nice to see Jack and Victor unite against Kane. Yeah, that's a good point. No, the thing is it is a shaky reason. Jack saved Nikki's life, and Victor hates him for it. There should certainly be something more substantial there to justify it all. I mean, I would just let that go, and I mean the years of history between them would be enough. I don't know why we're focused on that night with Nikki. I mean, they were in a hotel room together. Okay, they were in a hotel room together. But Sue W says yes to the ongoing war. Their feud remains at the core of Y&R, always bubbling just below the surface, no matter how nicey-nicey they play or insist that it's over. Bring it on. Let those two veteran actors go at it once again. I agree. I voted yes, bring it on. I mean, why not? At this point, why not give it one more go? Well, Tanya says, I am so glad Claire refused Kyle's proposal, which we all knew she would, and she was right on everything she told him. I agree with her, and she had every right to react the way she did. At least now he's going to back off and give her some time and space. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how long Kyle's going to be able to stay away from her. I think he's going to be continuing to plead his case every chance he gets. T. Nicole says, I really do like Kyle and Claire together, and I don't want them to break up for TV purposes, but I do admit that Claire is actually being smart and mature in how she's needing to take time with Kyle and actually think things over. She is making rational arguments against him and his actions, and I do applaud her for not just falling for his speech and proposal, because it's her first love and how easy it could be to ignore the red flags. She is strong enough to vocalize the type of relationship she would want, and it breaks my heart for her because I think she could really use her dad right now, and Cole would be so comforting to her in this situation. I don't know how the rest of the week will play out, but I do wonder if Claire will still be the one ending up sleeping with Holden and then feeling guilty with having Kyle waiting in the wings. Ooh, T. Nicole, that was a really great, well-written, well-thought-out comment. And you're right. I think Claire is acting very rationally here. She is, I'm not going to ignore the red flags just because this is my first love. But I also like your juicy idea that she's going to end up sleeping with Holden and then feeling guilty because Kyle doesn't know about it. I feel like Holden is a little slimy here. I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't done anything wrong. I'll give you that. But to me, it doesn't feel like a choice between Kyle and Holden, because Holden's manipulating her too. I mean, he can sit there and hold her purse while she's complaining about Kyle lying to her, but he's lying to her too. He's working for Kane. Kane told him to get close to her, and that's what he's doing. And I'm sure we'll dig into his psychology a little bit more of, well, I was supposed to get close to you for business, but then I fell in love with you. I mean, it's a classic trope and everything. But yeah. Connie says Claire, I think, wants to get a drunk reaction followed by a don't tell me what to do, followed by a tell me about your dating time with Audra. It seems a little too lovesick teenager for me. I know this is her first dating and boyfriend experience, but she's not in high school anymore. Ooh, that's an interesting point, counterpoint. T. Nicole feeling that Claire is having this very mature reaction. Connie saying, no, it's a little too lovesick teenager for me. Yeah, I think Y&R might be kind of on that balance. Wouldn't you say Claire is probably the youngest character on the show right now? So maybe Y&R is kind of trying to shove her into that category where she doesn't quite fit. Because, she's both. You're right. It's both. She's being very mature and immature at the same time. It's almost like Claire has this delayed adolescence, delayed maturity or something. Like she was a child too long because of her upbringing. Well, Naomi says Kyle tells his dad none of this would have happened if it weren't for Audra. This is convenient that Kyle accepts no responsibility. He could have told Claire at the very beginning he was going to play Audra. He could have told Claire the minute he got home that his plan, if there was one, included taking Audra almost to the point of no return. But instead, he kept Claire out of his big plan, and now it's going to cost him everything. Kyle is like Jack. His desire to beat Victor overrides common sense. I like that. Kyle being just like Jack is exactly what I want Kyle to be. Jack as of a couple decades ago, maybe. Well, Naomi also says, why does Kyle continue to engage in the conversation with Audra? He could have kept jogging, but chose to stop and exchange insults with her. I think he does have an attraction to her that he hates to admit to himself. She definitely wants to continue flirting with him. Kyle, be smart and just walk away. Yeah, you're right. These two, Kyle and Audra, are still choosing to be in each other's orbit. T. Nicole says, I love the character of Audra, but she reminds me right now of an annoying fly that just keeps buzzing in your ear and doesn't go away no matter how much you try to swat at it. Sherrod says Audra is a dead woman walking, and she has no one to blame but herself. I used to admire this character for being business savvy, but Y&R has turned her into a shrew. It seems the show loves to turn the women into tramps or trophies for the men. Sally has now been with two sets of brothers, Adam and Nick and Jack and Billy. Oh yeah, and Connie also says this storyline was problematic from the get-go because of the proposal to hire a woman to seduce a man and blackmail him with a sex scandal. Personally, I feel it diminished Victor and Audra as ruthless business scoundrels and made them into villains with highly questionable morals. I agree that tramps and trophies are outdated and unwelcome portrayals for women. Gary says, I think Audra is one of these long-term gold soap characters like Erica Kane, but worse. The show has to be bad, but eventually shows vulnerability and growth, and then goes backwards, and again, like Audra, agreeing to Victor's plan. A front burner vixen who can repeat this cycle for years, keeping the show moving. Will Audra Charles rise from the ashes? Do chatters even consider her in the ashes? You've lost it all, claims Claire. I like, that's interesting. That's interesting, because I think you're right. She is in that cycle. It's a classic soap cycle for the women. I mean, certainly don't you think Sharon's been in that? Sue W. says, I do enjoy tramps, trophies, scoundrels, and villains on soaps. Those four things, along with fake deaths, comas, and pregnancies, dungeons, baby stillers, imposters, gaslightings, switched paternities, and oh yeah, a world of only gorgeous people who regularly hurl insults, slap, punch, and or dump drinks and food on one another. Are they okay? I've barely mentioned all the nonsense that makes up why I love Y&R. An identical train on every continent? Unbelievably, thy name is Soap. But the emotions stirred in me watching Y&R are what I enjoy. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, Sue W. That was an interesting conversation. That was really interesting. Just opinions on Audra. Is it, is the tramps and trophies trope outdated? Is it the very essence of soaps? Maybe yes and yes. Daisy says, I thought Adam and Chelsea would have told everyone that Holden had met with Kane while they were all trapped on a train in Nice. At the very least, they should have told Victoria and Claire. Right now, it looks like Claire and Holden might end up together. Holden thus fulfilling his likely obligation to infiltrate the Newmans for Kane. Once Claire stops blaming Audra for Kyle turning head, or for turning Kyle's head, she might just see reality and that both men are not for her. Although I'm guessing Claire will be dealing with hurt feelings and blaming the wrong people for her broken heart before she stops falling for lies and gets her life together. Yeah. Definitely, Daisy. I feel like, both Holden's not much better of a choice. But what I really like is your point that why didn't Adam and Chelsea bust Holden out? Why hasn't he been busted out? Good question. Gary says Rory has been replaced by a new Noah, says the phone. Says Gary's phone. Gary's phone says new Noah. Well, when I heard that, I had to go directly, begrudgingly, to Soap Opera Digest to find out. Here's the scoop. The casting bombshells continue over at The Young and the Restless. A week after announcing that Daytime Emmy winners Tamara Braun and Roger Howarth are joining the show, TV Insider broke the news that Days of Our Lives alum Lucas Adams, ex-Trip, has landed the recast role of Noah Newman. He will begin airing this fall. Oh, we're getting a Noah? Well, that is some news. Well, it's good timing because Noah fits. He fits on so many levels. We need that slightly younger cast on the show. I don't know the guy. I don't know Trip, so I don't know his work. Maybe you guys can chime in this week and let me know what you think of him, if you think he's going to be a good fit for Noah. Hopefully he'll have some really good chemistry with Josh Morrow, and Nick and Noah can have some good stuff. Hopefully that'll give Sharon another child to hover over. But also he's romantically linked to Tessa. He's romantically linked to Audra, and I'm going to guess that's where it's really headed. I bet Noah's story is going to collide with Audra somehow. And also from Soap Opera Digest, yet another General Hospital alum is making the move to The Young and the Restless. The show is adding Matt Cohen to the cast. The actor began taping scenes last week and will make his Y&R debut on October 16th in the role of Detective Burrow. Entertainment Weekly reports. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. That sounds a little like Chance's old role to me. Huh, Detective Burrow? Burrow. He gonna dig it up. He gonna dig up the truth. He gonna dig up the evidence. So we're gonna be needing a detective. Well, that fits. I mean, Michael was asking, Kane's trying to hire Michael and Amanda. Why would he need them both? Both anticipating some legal trouble. So this whole AI thing is going to end in some legal trouble that Detective Burrow is going to have to burrow out. Well, let's talk about this. T. Nicole says, I am sorry. I am trying, but I am bored and feel nothing when it comes to Sally and Billy. I don't need Sally with Adam, but I know what chemistry between characters can feel and look like. Russell says, I can't wait for them to break up, and her agreeing to move in made me sad. I want Billy to crash and burn. He is so obsessed with Chancellor that he has thrown everyone to the side at one point or another. Even Jack is wanting to make amends with him. Billy hasn't learned his lesson yet, as if he ever would. There was a funny moment where Jack was on the phone with Billy. They were confirming plans for the party, and Billy said something, and Jack said, "No, I trust you implicitly." It's like, when is Jack going to get out of this enabling cycle? I couldn't believe the words came out of his mouth. I mean, he was like, "Yeah, Billy, I trust you. Let me give you this funding to start this business." And then the second things didn't go the way, the second Jack found out that Billy was still obsessed with Chancellor, Jack tried pulling away, and Billy pulled the whole, "You never really believed in me, big brother" thing. And then, Jack said, maybe I need to step away from Billy. Jack actually said, maybe I need to step away and stop enabling him. Maybe I'm part of the problem. And I was like, hallelujah. And then here he is this week saying, no, I trust you. Whatever. Well, Russell can't wait for Billy to crash and burn, but Russell also notes that Billy came sliding into the living room like it was risky business. Yes, that's the thing. Billy, he's intolerable sometimes, but dang, Jason Thompson is charming. When he came sliding into that living room, I said, okay, I'm listening. I'm officially listening. If this is going to get cute, I'm here for it. Sue W. says, I think Billy and Sally were always designed to be a default couple. And I think the chemistry between the actors is great, as I believe they deliberately play their characters' relationship as the lackluster one it is. Ooh. So that's really smart, that maybe that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe it's not really supposed to be hot burning romance. Maybe it's always been kind of back burner, de facto romance. But I want to know if there is anybody out there who is feeling the Billy and Sally. Let's make that our poll question for this week. Billy and Sally, are they hot or are they not? YRChat.com to let me know. Final note comes from Robin, who says, Nick looked especially handsome on Friday. His hair is perfect now, and I like his sports coat with the charcoal crew neck. I liked his look much more than Adam's suit and tie. Yes, the Newmans were really bringing the fashion. What about Victoria's rose blouse? Red rose blouse with red skirt. Victoria looked good. High neck, hair back. Victoria looked good on Friday. And Nick looked really good. I think it must be haircuts month on Y&R, because Nick got his haircut a couple weeks ago, and then maybe 1 week later Billy showed up with his haircut, which honestly needed to happen. Our dudes were starting to look a little greasy. Is it like a pomade or what is that? Why is it gel? Why do the guys wear so much hair gel that it looks greasy? That's the style? That must be slick is the style. So looking slight like you've got a film of slickness on you, it must be the style. It's greasy. I don't know when that became the style. Where does no one have soft hair, soft, natural flowing, tousled hair? It's all about the product. I just think the hair people must feel like they need to do something. They have to justify their existence for a guy's haircut, so they got to get in there and grease them up. Oh my goodness, that must be the end, because I've run out of things to say. So I hand the table over to you, hand the mic over to you. The floor is yours. YRChat.com is the very best place to leave comments, chat with the community, give your birthday shout out to Gary. It's a good place to check in. I posted some extra photos there this week, so if there's a little something extra, it's usually there at YRChat.com. I did also last week send out the call-in clip titled Forgiving Colin. If you have not signed up to be one of my email peeps, then you can do that at yrchat.com/storylines. And I have this beautiful little clip from 2017 where I am talking about Colin, or was it 2007? No, 2017. It has to be 2017, where I'm talking about forgiving Colin and kind of bringing it around to the larger story that he was involved with Jill and, of course, Catherine. All things lead back to Catherine. I think that's why the clip tugged at my heart so much, because all things ultimately lead back to Catherine. For me, anyway. I do miss her so, but she lives on in our hearts. And I guess that's it. I guess that's all. I hope that everybody has a wonderful week. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy this beautiful fall weather. And I will see you again next time. Bye.